Yeah, it's been a little slow this winter.
Yeah, we're supposed to make weather plus the economy.
We're waiting for the easel paper. Easel paper.
And you're going to be worth $1 million when you walk out of here. Okay? You are all super kids, super people. You've got a super audience. So let's give Mr. Tocco a hearty welcome.
That's a warm hearting welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I'm a very curious person. Very curious. Even when I think I know the answer, a lot of times I'll ask. And I think I know the answer to this first question, but I have this urgency, this sense to ask you. How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel great. Look out, world, I'm coming out one more time.
Aren't you ever, wouldn't Mr. Joe Girard be proud of you this morning? Who is Mr. Joe Girard?
He's a sailor. He sells cars.
He sold cars and trucks. And what did he do? He was known to be the what?
The greatest salesman.
That's right, the greatest salesman in the world. And he gave himself a pep talk. Now, what you did is you jumped ahead a little bit, which is excellent. That's what I want you to do. I want you to move around, jump ahead, and think. But I want to ask you how you feel. What I'd like to hear you say is terrific. Because, oh, wait a minute, what did Mr. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th, what was he, the 16th what? President of the United States. He said that a person is just about as happy as they set their mind to be, which is setting a goal, isn't it? So that means that no matter how we feel, we can always feel a little better. And if you're feeling terrific, boy, you can't feel any better than that, can you? So let me ask you again. How do you feel?
Terrific.
Ooh. Come on now. Come on, this is Harding the Bulldog with some feeling. How do you feel?
Terrific.
Yes, that's more like it. That is more like it. We have a very simple belief, and that is, let's not go forward until we have the material we've been working on in the past. Mr. Tocco's #1 reason for being with you is to encourage you to seek what the Greeks call, what is the word? Everybody in one great voice? Which means to become
The best possible you
compared to no one else. The best possible you. My young friends, when you, Liz, when you look around, I want you to look around at other people. I want you to see the differences in them. I want you to see the uniquenesses, Nick. When you look over at Chad, I want you to see the uniquenesses between the two of you. Never look at anybody and say that that person has more or has less than I have. But see the differences and the uniquenesses, because everyone is magnificently different than everybody else. And you will be able to do this by using the single greatest power you possess, which is the power to
choose.
Everybody in one great voice, the power to
Choose.
Power to choose. Amazing. You know what? Let's look at choice right here this morning. Let's look at choice this morning. You have a choice as you sit here, whether to listen to Mr. Tocco or to talk to somebody next to you. You have a choice to listen or to be distracted and think about something else. It's a powerful choice because you're here to learn. And guess what? If you learn this information, your future will be assured. Success, more happiness, more laughter, more friends, more gratification and satisfaction. Your career will no doubt will prosper you greatly. So there are many benefits to listening here this morning and 2 weeks, next week and the following week. I told you about my good friend Hugh O'Brien, who spent 9 days in South Africa with Dr. who? Albert
Schweitzer.
Dr. Albert Schweitzer, who was one of the great humanitarians on the planet. Humanitarian is a word to describe a person who has a great caring about mankind. Humankind, humanitarian. You spent 9 days. And Dr. Schweitzer said that the most important thing a person can learn how to do is to think for themselves. He said, the most important thing we can do for young people is to help them to learn how to think for themselves. Let your thoughts be your own. Test the thoughts and the words of other people. Listen to what they have to say. Measure them by your own values, your own character, and your own belief systems. So, in all of life, everything begins with a thought. And the statement of wisdom, can we say it together? First comes a thought, which is followed by a word that leads to an action, that forms a habit, that develops a character, which results in a destiny. Results in a destiny. Develops a character, forms a habit. That is what you do here this morning. You may not think it's a big deal. You may not think it's a big deal if you're looking around the room and you're looking at the seashells up on the shelf over there, or you're looking around and you're wondering how they got that funny squiggly pattern in the ceiling tile, and Mr. Tocco's talking or something's happening later on today. You may not think it's a big deal. But you are developing a habit of either listening or not listening. And guess what? We have 2 ears. We talked about that last week. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. If we use those ears to listen and to grasp new data and new information, we become more valuable. Because in the real world, we are paid for what we know. We are paid for what we know. And let me compliment you this morning. You are a model class. You are getting your homework down beautifully, and I commend you. I commend you for your listening habits that you're developing here. Now, we talked about waking up in the morning in the very first session and kind of setting the mood for the day. Now, I talked to you about what Mr. Joe Girard used to like to do before he went out the door. You just shared that with me a couple minutes ago. You said that, I feel good, I feel great. Mr. Tocco, before he met Mr. Girard, had his own warm-up. Would you like to know what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, it was really something, honestly. I used to live in a little apartment over on 8 Mile in DeQuinder, and it was just a 1-bedroom. Well, you see, I didn't know, but the walls were very, very thin. And the people that lived in the apartment were very, very quiet. Well, I would get up in the morning, and of course, I wanted to get my day started on the right track. I wanted to get excited about my life. So what I would do is, of course, after exercise, I would get in the shower, and I would take a nice warm shower. But before I would get out, I would turn the water on very cold. And of course, if you've ever done that, you know how it kind of gives you kind of a rush? And I'd turn it on and I'd go, whoo! And then I would give this pep talk to myself. I would say, I'm a living, breathing, human dynamo. Can we say that together? I'm a living, breathing, human dynamo. Now see, you have a couple of choices now. You get up in the morning and it's raining outside, or it's cold outside, or you didn't do your homework and you're feeling a little upset with yourself. Forget about those things. Just say that I can't live today. Not one grain of yesterday's sand will fall through today's hourglass, but I can sure learn today to get that attitude right and give yourself a pep talk. Start your day feeling energized. You'll come to school with a smile on your face and eager to learn and eager to be with your friends. And your teachers will be so happy. They'll have smiles from one ear to the other. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the importance of developing and maintaining a positive attitude. Attitude is a word that describes us. Your attitude is a description of you at some point in time during the day. Now I look at you here this morning and I say your attitude is very good. You are very attentive. You are eager to learn. You have a very positive attitude about learning this morning. Who will show me what a positive person looks like when they're excited about life and they're just walking down the hall? Who will show me what a positive person looks like? I mean, we only have two or three people in this classroom, this dynamic bulldog classroom that wants to show me what a positive person looks like. How many know what a positive person looks like when they're walking? How many like to show us? All right, show us what a positive person looks like. Look at that smile. Look at that. Yeah, he says, hey, his head is held back. Let's give Mark some appreciation. Boy, Mark, thank you. Smile on his face, shoulders back, head held back. Yeah, absolutely, boy. A man with a place to go, huh? It's a positive attitude. You can tell. You can tell what a mood a person's in. Who knows what a negative person looks like? Somebody who is, they got a lot on their mind. Maybe life is controlling them. They're discouraged about something. They're depressed. Their attitude machine is not turned up. You know that they did not give themselves a pep talk for that day. Nick, show us what a negative person would look like walking down. We'll walk toward the other direction there, Nick. Go ahead, walk the other way. Look at that. Head held down, boy. Shoulders down. He's mad. Let's give him some appreciation. Our attitude machine. I hope in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I hope in the future, that not one time do your parents have to say to you, I sure don't like your attitude. Because you know how to develop and maintain a positive attitude. By looking at the good things in life. By looking at what the Chinese do. What is the other word for crisis in the terms of the Chinese? The Chinese see a problem. That's very good. Excellent. The Chinese see a problem. They see a crisis and they go, wow, that is an opportunity. So every time you have a problem, a challenge, think of it as a wonderful opportunity. Last week we talked about what? Who will tell us? What did we talk about last week? Yes. We talked about goals. Who will describe what a goal is? What's a goal, Chris?
Something you put your mind on.
Something you put your mind on. Something that you put your mind on. So it's something very personal to you, isn't it? Whose goal is it? Whose goal should it be when you set a goal?
Yours.
You should be your own goal. What's another term for a goal? What's another goal? What's another way you would describe a goal? Yes. Yes.
What you want to do.
Something you want to do. Something you want to do. Now you were very kind here. I noticed that we turned in here. It looks like everybody turned in some goals. Now, what are some areas that we can set goals? What are some areas, different areas in life that we can set goals? Yes. Well, of course, attitude is something that's very important as it relates to goals. What are the areas that we can set a goal in? Yes, that's right, changing. But what area can we change? That's good, all right. All right, think about it for a minute. Nick? In the area of health. In the area of health, we can set goals, can't we? And after all, we have to live in our bodies. We have to maintain good health to have a good life. What other area can we set goals? How about this table here? What other areas can we set goals? Adam, you worked on it last week. You're looking right at it. What other areas can we set goals? What other area can we set goals in? Beside, you're looking right at it there. That piece of paper in front of you? What does it say? Well, they are dreams. Goals are dreams, aren't they? Goals are dreams. What other areas, Shane, can we set goals in? You're looking right at him right there. We talked about health. Spirituality. Sure, that means that we might want to take the time to pray and have some kind of a faith, yes. What else? What is it? In the area of family. What other area can we set goals in? How about this table here? We worked on it last week. I have areas that you set some goals in right here. Yes, Nick. Okay. Adventure. Well, all of life is an adventure, isn't it? Sure. So if we set goals, we're creating adventure in a lot of different areas of our life. Where else can we set goals? Spiritual, sure. So spiritual, family. How about where else? Where can we set goals? In school. Where else, Andrew? Where, honey? In career, sure. We can set goals in all these areas, and I have some of your homework here. We have set some goals. Remember, a goal is a plan. A goal is a plan. Here's a goal right here. Look at this. This is Courtney. She has a goal here to spend more time with her family, to spend more quality time. She says here in the area to make a difference in life, she would like to do things that would help take care of the earth. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Look at here, there's another one here. Crystal says she'd like to improve her grades. She'd like to listen better, do better work, try harder, act better. Some wonderful goals. Where's Crystal? Congratulations, honey. That's outstanding. Under spiritual, go to church. Health, eat right, exercise. Don't eat junk food. There's some fantastic goals here. A goal is a plan. The goal needs to be your goal. Of course, we'll be giving these back to you, and I hope that you'll start working on these right away. Because a goal needs an action step. We're going to talk about that next week. When we set a goal, we need to work on a very powerful term. Here's what we're going to talk about today in session number 4. Let's all say that. Today we're going to talk about, everybody together, one great voice.
Persistence.
Who thinks they know what persistence is? Does anyone think they know what persistence is? Let's see if Dr. Albert Schweitzer's comment, the most important thing young people can do for themselves is to think. Let's see if anybody can guess what this word is here. Anyone? Let's take a shot at it. To keep trying. Outstanding. Let's give them some appreciation right here. All right. Yes. To keep on keeping on. To keep on keeping on. Let's write it down. My young friends, when the going gets tough, what happens? Well, I changed it to the 90s. When the going gets tough, the wimps walk. When the going gets tough, the wimps walk. For the 80s, it was when the going gets tough, the tough get going. When it gets tough, when you get a little bit tired and you got homework to do, the tough, go ahead and do it anyway. When you make a commitment to your parents and you say you want to do something, but for something else, somebody calls you and says, hey Tom, let's go. You say, I can't. I've got to finish what I'm doing for my mom. That's tough. It's not easy to do. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's when you live up to your commitments. It's when you live up to what's important to you, because that helps develop your character. Persistence. I would like to ask you to please give yourself a pep talk, Mr. Gerard's pep talk, every morning until I come back next Tuesday. So we know what the pep talk is one more time. Everybody together with me. I feel good. I feel great. Look out, world. I'm coming out. One more time. Whew, man. And now we're going to have a contest. We're going to close a little contest. It's going to be this side of the room against this side of the room in some healthy competition. This side of the room is going to be the alerts. You're going to say, I'm alert. This side is going to say, I'm alive. I want to see who is more alert, who's more alive. Here we go. I'm alert. I'm alive.
I'm alert. I'm alive. I'm alert. I'm alive.
And the winner is, it's a tie. Give yourself some appreciation. You've been great. I'll see you next week.
I do.